everyone. Okay, so starting off, I like how this chapter opens up with the Straw Hats reacting to their new bounties and Jinbei being the new guy just kind of vibing in the background of it all. Like, it's a simple scene we've seen a million times over, but I have always liked how Oda does use moments like that to reset us back in the Straw Hats' daily routine and wherever the new normal is going to be. And in general, it is a nice decompression after coming off a long emotional journey of an arc, especially one like Wano. And yeah, I guess I should talk a little bit more about some of those bounties, because starting off, I like how with Frankie, he sort of found himself in a similar situation to Sanji and Usopp now, to where with Sanji and Usopp, their true faces were the ones hidden from public view for the longest time, with Usopp having taken up the whole thing as Sniper King, and Sniper King, and Sanji's face obviously not having a picture to go with it up until recently, and so no one had a really good so because their faces were hidden from public view, no one had a clear idea as to what they looked like. And now Frankie is the one kind of in that same boat and getting that same treatment, like with his first bounty picture and the time skip being that of Iron Frankie, and now the Sunny is on his. And now Sunny being on his bounty poster, but whereas with Usopp being hidden under the guise of Sniper King, fooled the government, and Sanji had his bounty photo drawn because of incompetence and even smoke influence, likely, it feels like the government is just trolling Frankie for the lulz. Like, that's what this feels like. Like, it feels like the government is just absolutely trolling Frankie, because that's the only way I can rationalize the fact that they took a picture of the Sunny for his bounty poster. Like that, what idiot is taking these pictures if they're not trying to get some laughs out of it? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Now, the other notable one for me, weirdly, as it's going to sound, is Chopper with his bounty increase of 1,000 berries, which, again, not much of an increase compared to the others, obviously, but it does show that he is making a name for himself beyond being the Straw Hat's pet. And that the government stuck with him for so long. Like, Chopper is starting to become, like, again, it's a very small increase, but for however small that increase is, the government, just the fact that the government gave him 1,000 berry bounty, shows they are taking him a little bit more seriously now. And yeah, I guess the only other one to talk about is that Robin's bounty jumped to 930 million berries, which I will say I do think was a slight missed opportunity to ever not have been kidnapped in the aftermath of Wano, but I'm not going to rule out the possibility of it still happening. Like, it can still happen, and I wouldn't be surprised when it does. With that said, let's talk about the origins of the Cross-Guild Alliance. And yeah, it's pretty much everything we expected it to be. A total hodgepodge of events that just coming together to work out in Buggy's favor or unfavorably for him, depending on your perspective. And obviously, once again, we have the government being totally incompetent and really only ever grasping the surface level of things. Like, seriously, their ability to intercept information through transponder snail and just gather intel in general really needs to be upgraded. Really needs a total fucking upgrade, because like, seriously, half the stuff that Pretty Brand New says has me face palming, honestly, in the way he described Buggy. Like, dude, okay, yeah, I obviously this stuff when it comes to Roger and all that stuff is true, but everything else, it's like, dude, oh my god. Of course, beyond what the Navy does, beyond how the Navy responds, we also get the crux of how this alliance with Mihawk and Crocodile was formed, which is that Buggy was just basically in debt to good old Croc, and was forced to join his new organization in order to basically pay off that debt, I guess you could say. But because the men Buggy recruited from Impel Down, they basically worship him like a god. The poster they made portrayed him like he was the head of the organization. So, like, to sum up, it's basically Buggy enabling all this. Basically, to sum up, basically what it is Buggy enabling all this shit is the reason he's even an emperor now. And yeah, I just love how all this shit is just coming back to bite him in the ass in only the ways it can for Buggy, yet still feeling like his coveted luck is still playing out, like it should for him. Like, seriously? Like, we talk about Luffy having luck, but at this point, Buggy has to be carrying around 2 horseshoes, 6 four-leaf clovers, a lucky penny, and a rabbit's foot for things to go this way for him, at least in the short term. And, like, I suppose you could also say that, like, Croc and Mihawk are kind of just are vibing off of that luck, because as Mihawk says, the fact that Buggy is being the head of the organization, it does allow them a little bit more like freedom to move and to cover the tracks for whatever they're planning. Now with all that said, we cut back to the Revolutionary Army and Dragon discussing Sabo's fate before Sabo himself comes a calling on Transponder Snail. And honestly, for the past couple of days, I've seen Twitter just weirdly explode in this with practically the meme of everyone saying, like, they know what the One Piece is, like, the One Piece is this, the One Piece is that kind of thing. But honestly, after this chapter, I think I get where that's coming from, because between Kuma being back with the Revolutionaries and Sabo more than likely working with Cobra at this point, or just Cobra, like, having died and passing something he's learned onto Sabo, it does seem like Oda might be setting up for the Revolutionaries to learn the truth about the One Piece. Now, I don't believe Oda is going to reveal the actual identity of the One Piece itself. That's something that I think at the end he's still going to save for when we reach the end of the series. But, however, if he is setting Sabo up to have learned something about the One Piece, about the Void Century, then I think he's going to play it up. Then I think the way Oda's going to write this is he's going to play it up as something about the One Piece having a historical connection, significance to the world government itself, and less what the One Piece actually is, because that would be a way of giving us a major reveal about the treasure without telling us what it is. And Oda has shown above all else, he can be very subtle with how he handles his reveals. But above all else, though, I really want to know what happened at the Reverie, because if Sabo is still alive, then is Cobra as well, or is he dead? Like, and even more so, because Oda's been hanging a little bit too long, letting that hang over us a little too long, in my opinion, so he needs to give us an answer very soon, or soon enough. Although, with Oda going on break, it will be a while long before we get the answer. But even more so than that, though, with just that little panel reveal that the Navy is going to be listening in on Sabo's conversation with the Revolutionaries, like, that in itself also just proves the point that Sabo learned something that he really shouldn't have. And for as careless as Sabo can be, I have to assume he knows he's being listened in on. So, like, unless Oda is setting up for a full-on, like, war between the government and the revolutionaries now, at a schedule, then Sabo's practically gonna have to speak in code. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna ignite something between the revolutionaries and the government now, because like Oda said, I think he's sticking to the 3 years thing, so now he needs to lay the groundwork for that to happen as well. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst Control. Be sure to notification bell, subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.